Good morning, America. Breaking news overnight. Disaster in Philadelphia. A small jet slamming into a residential neighborhood. Exploding into a fireball. The medical jet carrying 6 people, including a child.
The plane crashed just a few feet away from where I'm standing, narrowly missing this strip mall right here.
Cars and houses burning, debris in the streets. This morning, the investigation into what went wrong.
Black boxes recovered from the Black Hawk helicopter and the American Airlines plane that collided in midair. The clues they could hold as salvage teams prepare to pull up the fuselage from that frigid Potomac River. And we learn more about those who were lost, an entire family who dedicated their lives to figure skating.
Breaking news. Hamas frees the first American hostage kidnapped during the October 7th massacre, along with 2 other men. The jubilation in Tel Aviv.
Tariff time starting today. What it could mean for your wallet, from the grocery store to the gas pump, as President Trump follows through on campaign promises, imposing the tariffs on 3 of America's biggest trading partners.
Chocolate recall. Shoppers told to check their pantries. The FDA raising the warning about a company's products to the highest risk level.
And Super Bowl sales, the big business surrounding the big game. From food to fanware, it's supersized spending all around. The deals to score for a winning feast.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
And good morning, America. It's great to have you with us. We have several developing stories as we come on the air right now. Hamas handing over Israeli-American hostage Keith Siegel, along with 2 other hostages as part of the ceasefire deal with Israel. We'll go live to Tel Aviv in just a moment. And Gio is anchoring from Washington this morning with the very latest on that deadly midair disaster. Gio.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, we're at Reagan National Airport, and right behind me here, the Potomac. We've been watching as they move crews into place to start lifting the plane's wreckage out of the water. Navy barges are expected to join as well. And now this morning, the NTSB saying all of the black boxes from both the American Airlines plane and the Black Hawk helicopter have been recovered. That helicopter's black box is especially critical. We're going to look at that and remember the lives lost. For one of the victims, the day of the crash was also her 33rd birthday. So many tragic stories here, guys.
So much tragedy there in D.C. Gio, where you and Whit were this week covering that story, but also more tragedy just up I-95. And that's where we begin with breaking news in Philadelphia. The scene of another plane crash, a medical transport jet carrying 6 people crashing into a busy neighborhood, exploding into a fireball overnight. Here right now is a live look over the area where you can see that massive debris field. This is thanks to our station, WPVI's helicopter, where you can just see that debris littered around the street where there are businesses and homes nearby. The extent of the damage is extensive. ABC's Stephanie Ramos joins us live there now. Good morning to you, Stephanie. You came from D.C., stopped in Philly just after we learned about this plane crash last night.
That's right, Janae. And in that medical jet coming down in this northeast Philadelphia neighborhood like a lawn dart. No one on board survived, and several people on the ground were injured.
That's a whole plane right there burning, y'all.
Overnight, a massive inferno in northeast Philadelphia after a medical transport jet crashed into a residential neighborhood.
The plane just crashed into the plaza. I just saw a plane basically just hit the buildings, and just an explosion happened, and I just seen the sky light up.
Chilling surveillance video capturing the moment it happened. You can see an explosive fireball in the night sky before the jet plummeted to the ground.
Keep moving! Keep moving!
All black smoke covering everything. The houses ended up catching on fire down there, and there was plane pieces everywhere.
The small plane, a jet rescue air ambulance, carrying a pediatric patient, her mother, and 4 crew members, according to the company. The child had just received care from a children's hospital in Philadelphia. All 6 on board heading back to their home country of Mexico, with a stop in Springfield, Missouri. The jet taking off from northeast Philadelphia Airport shortly after 6 p.m., crashing just moments later. Dramatic images capturing the fiery aftermath of the crash, a massive blaze in the streets, buildings and vehicles engulfed in flames. First responders and emergency vehicles rushing to the scene.
The plane crashed just a few feet away from where I'm standing, narrowly missing this strip mall right here. You can see police vehicles set up all around this area. They've set up a massive perimeter stretching blocks in each direction.
Stanley James III was in the parking lot of the mall when the crash happened.
As we looking around, like literally the whole parking lot is shaking. It was like a train wreckage, like maybe like a real loud, bad car accident almost or something.
The cause of the crash is still unclear. The NTSB is now leading the investigation. Members of the FAA also arriving on the scene overnight, along with Governor Josh Shapiro.
Tonight we also saw the best of Philly. We saw neighbor helping neighbor. We saw Pennsylvanians looking out for one another.
And guys, this area is a densely populated residential neighborhood packed with row homes. Many of them caught fire. Residents right now are being urged to stay out of this area for now. Gio.
Just unbelievable to have two major crashes back to back like this, just days apart. Stephanie, thank you for your overnight reporting. We are going to turn now to the tragedy here in Washington. We've been watching as they move crews onto the Potomac to begin pulling the wreckage out of the water. And now we're learning that the black box from the helicopter has been found intact. And that is a critical piece of this investigation.
This morning, salvage teams on the Potomac River will begin the painstaking process of pulling the American Airlines plane out of the water. Sources tell ABC News many of the victims' bodies are said to be trapped inside.
First and foremost, we need to make every effort and to make sure we're recovering every one of the people that perished in this accident.
Crews scanning the frigid river with sonar. 41 of the 67 bodies now recovered.
We have right now 2 distinct debris fields.
These images from a CCTV video obtained exclusively by CNN show one of the clearest views yet of that Black Hawk helicopter, there on the left moments before impact. Investigators recounting the final minutes before the American Airlines jet started its descent Wednesday night. At 8:43 p.m., the pilots told to land on a shorter runway. The Black Hawk helicopter now making its way up the Potomac River. At 8:45 p.m., air traffic control alerting the helicopter to that jet's approach. At 8:47 p.m., asking the Black Hawk pilots to confirm they see the jet.
S25, is CRJ in flight. S25, F1 is CRJ.
This club has an aircraft in sight, press separation.
Seconds later, the collision.
32017.
On Friday, the NTSB said it found the black box from inside the Army helicopter. Early data shows the Black Hawk was flying above 300 feet when it should have been under 200. And we are learning more about the 67 people killed in that midair collision. The Army now identifying 2 of the 3 soldiers in that Black Hawk. 28-year-old Staff Sergeant Ryan O'Hara from Georgia, a 10-year veteran who served in Afghanistan, and 39-year-old Chief Warrant Officer and pilot Andrew Eves from Maryland. In the plane, biology professor Linsey Fields. She was heading to D.C. to advocate for science education. 33-year-old attorney Sarah Best. The day of her crash was her birthday. 11-year-old Lydia and 14-year-old Everly Livingston, known for their Instagram handle Ice Skating Sisters, along with their parents Donna and Peter. Our D.C. affiliate WJLA spoke with the sisters in 2022.
When you get older, what do you want to do with skating?
Go to Disney on Ice.
Ooh, how about you?
I want to be in the Olympics.
Also on board, ice skater Corey Hanos and his parents Stephanie and Roger. Their families saying Corey had his sights set on the Olympics.
Just some of the 67 people lost here. And there are also questions this morning about air traffic control. We've learned one controller was doing the job of 2. That's typical when there's less air traffic. But this change happened 40 minutes earlier than usual the night of the crash. And was the warning to the Black Hawk too late or specific enough? That's why the black box from the helicopter is especially important, because investigators will be able to hear what was said in that cockpit right before the crash. Was there any confusion, or were they looking at the correct plane? We know the NTSB is pulling that data right now in their lab with.
Yeah, and it's critical to get that information for future safety in aviation. Gio, we'll check back with you in just a bit. Thank you. We do turn now to our other breaking story this morning out of the Middle East. Hamas releasing Israeli-American hostage Keith Siegel and 2 other hostages after nearly 16 months in captivity. ABC's foreign correspondent Britt Clennett is following all the developments from Tel Aviv. Britt, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Yeah, I'm at the hospital, which will soon receive Keith Siegel. He's expected to stay here for at least 4 days. Keith becoming the first American-Israeli to be freed in this ceasefire.
This morning, American-Israeli hostage Keith Siegel finally back on home soil after 15 months in captivity. 65-year-old Siegel, the first American to be freed in the breakthrough ceasefire and hostage deal. In the ruins of the port in Gaza City, Siegel seen on a stage flanked by masked and armed Hamas forces. Hamas staging an orderly handover after criticism of their handling of Thursday's hostage release. Supporters watching in Tel Aviv.
Cheers here as American-Israeli Keith Siegel is handed over to the Red Cross.
On October 7th, Keith Siegel was taken from his home alongside his wife Aviva. She was released during the week-long ceasefire in November of 2023. Finally, this morning, the end of a long and agonizing wait. Aviva and their son Shay watching from a TV at Riem base as Keith was handed over by Hamas. She told me last September how she's been dreaming of this moment.
And I just can imagine Keith coming out and me just screaming and jumping on him. And I'll be just the happiest person in the whole world. And Keith, from the minute he comes home, he's going to be the king. He's going to be the king of the world.
Now that day has finally come. Hamas also releasing 2 other hostages this morning, a separate event in the city of Han Yunis, bringing Ofer Calderon and Yarden Bibas to a stage before handing them over to the Red Cross. The 2 have now safely returned to Israel. Many have followed the story of the Bibas family since the October 7th attacks. Yarden Bibas is the father of the 2 youngest children abducted by Hamas. Bibas seen kidnapped in this video. His wife Shiri clutching their 9-month-old and 4-year-old as they were taken. Their fate is unknown. Still, 1 more American expected to be among the 33 hostages released in Phase 1 of this deal, Sagi Dekelchen. In exchange for this morning's 3 hostages, 183 Palestinian prisoners also freed from Israeli jails. The ceasefire also allowing for crucial medical evacuations in Gaza. For the first time in more than 8 months, the Rafah crossing reopening to allow sick and wounded Palestinians to get treatment abroad. And in the north, displaced Gazans finally making their way back to what is left of their homes. The UN saying nearly 500,000 people have returned to northern Gaza since the crossing reopened in the past week.
The Siegel family releasing a statement saying they are filled with indescribable excitement, thanking President Trump, saying our hope lies with you that the others are returned home. Janae.
Aviva and Keith will be back together with their son again. Thank you so much for that, Britt. Back here at home now to other big news. The White House says 25% tariffs are going into effect today on goods coming into the U.S. from 2 of the country's biggest trading partners, also the closest, Mexico and Canada. So what impact will President Trump's move have on American consumers, your wallet, where? ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang joins us from Washington with those details. Good morning to you, Selena.
Hey, good morning, Janae. Yeah, this could have a huge impact on American consumers. But remember that President Trump had campaigned on lowering costs for Americans, but these tariffs could have the opposite effect. It could increase prices on everything from avocados to tequila, cars, electronics, clothes, and more. This morning, President Trump is gearing up to impose steep tariffs today on America's biggest trading partners, a move that could raise prices at the grocery store and the gas pump.
There could be some temporary short-term disruption, and people will understand that.
Trump campaigned on lowering prices for Americans, but admits now that his tariffs could cause disruptions. The president hitting Canada and Mexico with 25% tariffs and 10% tariffs on China, blaming those countries for illegal migrants and drugs coming into the U.S. and for America's trade deficit with these trading partners.
They've treated us very unfairly.
Experts say American families could pay $830 more on average this year because of those tariffs, with higher prices for fresh produce, alcohol, clothes, electronics, cars, and more. And those tariffs on oil and gas could hike prices at the pump by as much as 70 cents per gallon.
I pressed the White House on those higher prices.
Can you guarantee that those tariffs won't increase prices for Americans, including at the gas pump and the grocery store?
I think Americans who are concerned about increased prices should look at what President Trump did in his first term.
Studies have repeatedly shown that Trump's first-term tariffs hit American companies and consumers the hardest, and Trump's move threatening to spark a trade war. Canada's prime minister says they're ready to hit back.
If tariffs are implemented against Canada, we will respond. We won't relent until tariffs are removed, and of course, everything is on the table.
So tariffs are taxes on goods that U.S. companies and importers pay, and then they largely pass on those higher costs to U.S. consumers. And Janae, some companies are also warning that this could put millions of jobs at risk here in America.
The impacts remain to be seen. Those impacts remain to be seen, Selena. And we're also learning new information about President Trump's plans to fire FBI agents. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Janae, so sources are telling us that the Trump administration is compiling a list of FBI agents to fire or force out. We're told that the administration is specifically looking into people who worked on investigations targeting President Trump and anyone who they believe can't be trusted to carry out President Trump's policies. In response to this news, the FBI Agents Association is calling this outrageous and dangerous. Janae?
All right, Selena, thank you for that. What?
Janae, now we turn to prosecutors reaching a plea deal with the man accused of flying a drone into a firefighting plane as the Palisades fire was raging in Southern California. ABC's Zareen Shah joins us now from Los Angeles with details. Zareen, good morning.
Good morning. The Palisades fire was one of the biggest disasters in Los Angeles history. Every single resource was essential to saving lives and property, and suddenly a major firefighting tool was grounded for 5 days. Officials say a drone was to blame, and federal officials are charging the drone operator that hit a super scooper, an aircraft that can hold up to 16,000 gallons of water. 56-year-old Peter Tripp Ackerman pled guilty to 1 count of unsafe operation of an unmanned aircraft. According to officials, he went to a parking garage in Santa Monica on January 9th, 2 days after the fires broke out, and launched his drone. But they say he lost sight of it before it crashed into the super scooper and left a hole in the left wing. Ackerman has agreed to pay for all damages, roughly $65,000, and is agreeing to 150 hours of community service in the form of wildlife relief. He also faces up to 1 year in federal prison. Meanwhile, the ATF's National Response Team has finished collecting evidence and now running tests and analyzing evidence to investigate what caused the Palisades fire that destroyed almost 7,000 homes and structures and left 12 people dead. As of just a few hours ago, both the Eaton fires and Palisades fires are 100% contained. Janae.
That certainly is a silver lining there, Zoreen. Thank you for that. Well, the first parent to be held in the U.S. criminally responsible for a mass school shooting by her son is now asking for a new trial. Jennifer Crumbley, the mother of Oxford High School shooter Ethan Crumbley, is asking a Michigan judge to order a new trial for her, saying prosecutors failed to disclose details about 2 witnesses. She was convicted last year of involuntary manslaughter after her son killed 4 students with a gun his parents had given him. She and her husband are the first parents of a school shooter to stand trial and to be convicted. Gio.
And Janae, now to head injuries in the NFL as the league announces a significant drop in concussions during the 2024 season. ABC's Ike Ajachi joins us now with more on this. Good morning, Ike.
Hey, good morning, Gio. This decrease in concussions represents a record low for the 2024 season. And the NFL is pointing to several recently implemented safety measures. The league says there have been 182 concussions this season. That's down 17% from 2023. These stats go back to 2015, and they include all practices in games in both the preseason and the regular season. Now, the NFL is pointing to several factors: improved helmet quality and the mandatory use of guardian caps for most players during training camp and regular season practices. They want to cut down on those dangerous impacts on the field, like those sustained by Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who was seen in a fencing position following a dangerous hit. Now, the league also adopted the dynamic kickoff rule this season, which allows only the kicker and 2 returners to move until the ball hits the ground or a player in the landing zone or the end zone. The outcome? Returns increased while the average speed of players slowed down. The rule also led to the fewest lower extremity strains on the play since at least 2018. Now, all in all, the NFL says it wants to reduce high-speed helmet impacts, which is when 2 players collide at more than 15 miles per hour. Guys, the NFL says changes to the rules on punting plays could be coming next. Janae?
Well, it sounds like those changes that have come have made a big difference. Thanks for that.
Let's share some happier news now. Astronaut Suni Williams is making the most of her extended time at the International Space Station. Williams breaking the record for the most total spacewalking time by a woman, making her 9th spacewalk on Thursday. She was joined by fellow astronaut Butch Wilmore. Williams and Wilmore have been at the ISS since June. You'll remember they weren't able to come back on the Boeing Starliner after technical issues, and they are now set to return with SpaceX in March. So quite the long saga for all of them, guys.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to have a delay,
you might as well
break some records.
Make the use of it. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
Get your money's worth out of the trip. All right, Gio, thanks so much. We'll check back with you in a bit. Still ahead here on GMA, caught on camera, a terrifying blast means a close call for sanitation workers.
Yeah, scary stuff. And what football fans will be spending their money on ahead of next week's big game. Stick around as we get you Super Bowl ready here on GMA.
I'll be getting some wings. And welcome back to GMA. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the big stories that we're following on this Saturday morning. Happening now, President Trump announcing that 6 Americans who had been detained in Venezuela are on their way home. Their release comes after Trump's crisis negotiator met with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in Caracas on Friday. He was there to convince the leader to take back deported migrants who have committed crimes in the U.S.
Also right now, scary video shows a sanitation worker narrowly escaping injuries after a discarded oxygen tank exploded right there in a garbage truck. Police in Columbus, Ohio say the explosion was so loud it set off the city's gunshot notification system.
And the FDA is now raising a chocolate recall to the highest risk level. The agency says chocolate and yogurt-covered products from Callie Farm may have undeclared ingredients, including nuts and milk, that could cause serious health consequences or even death in some people who are allergic. You can find more information on our website. Gio.
All right, guys, we begin this half hour here with 2 major plane crashes in just a week. I'm here, of course, in our nation's capital because on Wednesday night, an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided in midair with an American Airlines plane, plunging into the Potomac River, killing 67 people. And just last night, a small medical flight carrying a child, her mother, and 4 other people went down in Philadelphia near a busy mall. So let's go ahead and bring in ABC News contributor and aviation analyst John Nance. John, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here. We know the weather has been rough in the Northeast. In Philly, it was rainy with a low cloud ceiling. Planes can usually deal with that, but as a pilot, that must make flying much more difficult.
It does make things difficult, but this was a takeoff. And weather situation with about a 700-foot ceiling and visibility under that ceiling, it was pretty good, about 4 or 5 miles. Really doesn't have much potential for interfering, especially not to the point of a catastrophe.
And we've seen, John, from that video how fiery that crash was. We're told the plane had just taken off with a full tank of fuel. That really made things worse, didn't it?
It most certainly did. A full tank of fuel and an impact like that, almost straight down at the very last, spread the fuel, atomized the fuel, if you will. And jet fuel does not explode like gasoline does, but it can burn very rapidly and very, very hot. You have a lot of other structures on fire in the vicinity of the crash, and that's exactly what happened last night. That's why it looked like such a holocaust.
Yeah, I mean, it really was tragic. John, while we have you, let's talk about the crash here in Washington, of course, on Wednesday between the Army helicopter and that American Airlines jet. The black box from that helicopter has been recovered, and it was found intact. And that is a very big deal. How important will that be to the investigation?
I think it'll be critical. Certainly what it'll give us is the knowledge of what was being said in that cockpit, why the aircraft or the helicopter was actually aiming directly at the airliner, and obviously not understanding what they were looking at is going to be one of the key elements here. How did they make the decision to do that? How did they make the decision to go to 300 feet, or was it just accidental? There are a couple of things here that are going to have to be reconstructed in terms of flight dynamics very, very carefully. And with this box and the one from the American Airlines flight, both of them, the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder, there should be enough to be able to reconstruct this down to almost milliseconds.
And John, it really was critical to find that black box from the helicopter, because when we're talking about the black boxes from the American Airlines plane, if those pilots there in the plane didn't even know the helicopter was coming, we don't know that for sure, but if they didn't see it coming and had no idea and didn't even know it hit them, well, that wouldn't have told us that much more. So that's why that black box from the helicopter was so important, right?
That's correct, Gio. The main thing here is to try to get inside the pilots' minds and figure out what they were seeing, what they were translating into the direction they've got the chopper going, which was directly into the side of that aircraft. But obviously, they wouldn't have done that on purpose. So what misunderstanding was there? Was it when they reached out, or not reached out, but basically answered the controller and said, yes, we have the traffic in sight, but they didn't? Maybe they were looking at something else. And the altitude, it becomes a major factor here, because that corridor is supposed to be 200 feet.
And we know that one of the black boxes there on the American Airlines plane did get some water intrusion. So the NTSB is working on that to get that moisture out and try to recover that data and that voice data as well from those black boxes. But again, the black box from the helicopter has been recovered intact. John Nance, as always, thank you so much for your insight this morning.
With a look at the top political headlines, and joining us from Washington this morning is senior White House correspondent Selena Wang and ABC contributing political correspondent Rachel Bade. Good morning to you both. We appreciate it. So, Selena, let's go ahead and start with you, because President Trump is dealing with that tragic plane crash that we've been covering in Washington, and it's just his second week on the job. His response, though, getting a lot of reaction.
Yeah, so President Trump, he did hold a press conference the day after that tragic plane collision, and he started out with a message of unity, the country coming together in this time of anguish. But from there, he very quickly moved on to political attacks. He claimed without evidence that diversity hiring practice were partly to blame for that deadly collision. He accused his predecessors of hiring air traffic controllers based on diversity goals and not on qualifications. But when the president was asked if he had any proof, well, he didn't have any. Democratic lawmakers, they are outraged, and the former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is blasting Trump's remarks as despicable. He said that as families grieve, Trump should be, quote, leading, not lying. Whip.
And Rachel, let's bring you in now. Another major headline: the tariffs scheduled to go into effect today on Canada, Mexico, and China. What are Republicans saying about this, Rachel?
Yeah, Janae, I mean, look, as with a lot of controversial policies with Donald Trump, Republicans are saying something very different publicly and privately. Publicly, they're saying, look, this guy is a great negotiator. If he's got to reach for hardball tactics like tariffs to get other countries to do what is in the best interest of the United States, so be it. But publicly, Republicans, frankly, are really worried about prices going up. And I got to tell you, it's beyond that. They're also worried that their constituents are going to be doubly hit, not just with higher prices, but also lower incomes. Think about people like Senate Majority Leader John Thune from South Dakota, a lot of farmers in his state that export things like soybeans, other crops and beef to other countries. They're going to get hit. Their incomes are going to decrease. The question, though, is what are they going to do about it, if anything, with pushing back on Donald Trump?
Yeah, and I know we're still waiting on more details, too, so we'll stand by for that. Meantime, Selena, another topic that we're following here. What more are you learning about Trump's unprecedented move encouraging millions of federal workers to quit their jobs by offering buyouts? How could all of this play out?
Yeah, guys, this is unprecedented, but President Trump sees it as him fulfilling his campaign vow to slash the size of the federal government. So earlier this week, his administration offered roughly 2 million federal workers the option to resign and to continue getting paid for several months. But if even a fraction of the workforce takes the Trump administration up on this offer, it could send shockwaves through the economy, and it could lead to disruptions of critical federal services. And in the wake of that tragic plane collision, there are concerns here about how this could impact the FAA. And as you guys know from covering this story, the FAA has been dealing with a critical shortage of air traffic controllers for decades. So in response to this, the Air Traffic Controllers Union is saying that they are concerned that this could impact public safety if enough of their experienced workers were to resign.
Oh, and Rachel, one last topic that we want to touch on before we let you both go. President Trump's plans for reining in government spending. There was recent confusion when a key Medicaid website was down temporarily. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, Janae, my White House sources were saying that was never supposed to go down, that was a mistake. And I mean, Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, at one point during her briefing, one of her briefings this week, said 7 times that individual benefits would not be impacted when Donald Trump goes after sort of waste and fraud in the U.S. government. But I have to tell you, we're going to get more information on this next week. The House Republicans are going to be releasing a budget. And I am told from my sources in the House that they've been talking about everything from work requirements for food stamps, cuts to Obamacare subsidies, cuts to Medicaid as well. Now, a lot of centrist Republicans, they're pushing back on this privately, saying it would be basically political suicide, that they could lose their House majority if they go after low and middle income earners, some people who voted for Donald Trump. And they're looking for an ally in Trump himself. There's a hope that because of all the chaos and confusion that the White House dealt with this week over potential cuts, that maybe he will side with them.
All right. Well, ABC contributing political correspondent and senior White House correspondent Selena Wang and Rachel Bay, thank you both so much for being with us this morning.
As we look ahead to the big game coming up now, just over a week away, we're talking about the Super Bowl, right? The big game. Just wanted to clarify. ABC's Alexis Christoforous has more on how fans are gearing up. Alexis, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. We love our football, and we spend big on it, right? So look, guys, there's a record number of football fans expected to watch the big game next Sunday, but the spending blitz is already underway ahead of the big rematch between the Chiefs and the Eagles.
It's there! Hartman! Jackpot!
Whether you watch for the game, the halftime show, or the commercials,
lunch and a show.
The Super Bowl is TV's main event. More than 203 million people expected to watch the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles in New Orleans. But a supersized game means supersized spending.
We are going to see a lot of spending this year, and that includes parties at home, hosting, attending parties, and also going to bars and restaurants.
Fans expected to shell out a record $18.6 billion on the big game, about $91 per person. More than 80% of that on food. Chicken wings still rule the roost. Nearly 1.5 billion wings are expected to be consumed Super Bowl Sunday. You can score 20 free wings at Applebee's if you spend $40 online. And if pizza's on the game day menu, 7-Eleven has a buy one, get one free offer if you order on the app. With a Super Bowl ticket now averaging more than $9,700 on SeatGeek, most fans will be watching from their televisions.
We love to watch our game on a huge screen, and so you will find great deals, especially on previous generation models.
Like this 85-inch Samsung Smart TV, on sale at Best Buy for $700, a $400 savings. Fans also splurging on team merch to the tune of $2.6 billion. Swifties may be stocking up on Chiefs apparel, but Phillies gear is also flying off the shelves. Fans ready for the rematch, hoping the Eagles can avenge their loss to the Chiefs in the big game 2 years ago. Eagles fly, baby! It's going to be epic. And it's not just the fans, guys. Companies are also paying top dollar to be a part of the big game. This year, a 30-second ad reportedly sold for a record $8 million.
That is a lot of money for not a lot of time.
All those pictures of chicken wings, though, makes me so hungry. I'm going to start eating this mug if you show me one more.
All of the things.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Alexis. The pizza, too. We'll be right back.
Good morning, America. It's our second hour. Breaking news overnight, disaster in Philadelphia. A small jet slamming into a residential neighborhood. Exploding into a fireball. The medical jet carrying 6 people, including a child.
The plane crashed just a few feet away from where I'm standing, narrowly missing this strip mall right here.
Cars and houses burning, debris in the streets. This morning, the investigation into what went wrong.
Saddle up. We're celebrating Black History Month, exploring the legacy of Black cowboys in the U.S.
It's American history.
Preserving the past and riding into the future.
And we're lighting up your weekend with a treat yourself edition of Deals and Steals, full of small business bargains.
Plus, lessons from a legend of female entrepreneurship. Rebecca Minkoff is live on GMA with what's in and out on the red carpet as we count down to the Grammy Awards and dishing on Real Housewives of New York as she says,
"Good morning, America."
It's Saturday morning. This is GMA.
Good Saturday morning to you. Good morning, America. Thank you for starting your weekend with us. We have so much to get to this morning. Gio is anchoring from the field with the very latest on that air disaster in Washington.
Janae, it's been 3 days since that crash, and the wreckage from that American Airlines plane is still underwater there in the Potomac River behind me. It's been incredibly challenging for crews to work on this here. The weather Friday making it all the more difficult. 41 of the 67 bodies have been pulled out. The rest are trapped inside that wreckage. Navy barges are expected to join in as well, and we are getting closer to answers here because the NTSB is saying all of the black boxes from both the plane and the Black Hawk helicopter have now been found, as we learn more this morning about some of the lives lost.
And we'll chat with you more on all of this. Plus, overnight, Hamas handing over Israeli-American hostage Keith Siegel, along with 2 other hostages as part of that ceasefire deal with Israel. We'll go live to Tel Aviv in a moment.
But we do begin this morning here at home with the breaking news out of Philadelphia. A medical transport jet carrying 6 people crashing into a busy neighborhood, exploding into a fireball. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is there and joins us now. Good morning, Stephanie. You described that jet as crashing like a lawn dart.
Absolutely. In a densely populated residential neighborhood. Can you imagine? I've spoken to a couple of people that heard that and just had no idea what it was. It was so startling. That medical jet coming down just a few feet from where I'm standing. No one on board survived. Several people who were on the ground were injured.
That's a whole plane right there burning, y'all.
Overnight, a massive inferno in northeast Philadelphia after a medical transport jet crashed into a residential neighborhood.
The plane just crashed into the plaza. I just saw a plane.
Chilling surveillance video capturing the moment it happened. You can see an explosive fireball in the night sky before the jet plummeted to the ground.
Keep moving!
All black smoke covering everything. The houses ended up catching on fire down there, and there was plane pieces everywhere.
The small plane, a jet rescue air ambulance, carrying a pediatric patient, her mother, and 4 crew members, according to the company. The child had just received care from a children's hospital in Philadelphia. All 6 on board heading back to their home country of Mexico with a stop in Springfield, Missouri. The jet taking off from northeast Philadelphia airport shortly after 6 p.m., crashing just moments later.
The plane crashed just a few feet away from where I'm standing, narrowly missing this strip mall right here. You can see police vehicles set up all around this area. They've set up a massive perimeter stretching blocks in each direction.
The cause of the crash is still unclear. The NTSB is now leading the investigation. Members of the FAA also arriving on the scene overnight, along with Governor Josh Shapiro.
Tonight we also saw the best of Philly. We saw neighbor helping neighbor. We saw Pennsylvanians looking out for one another.
There's still a wide perimeter set up by police. Residents are being urged to stay out of this area as the investigation continues. Gio.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much for your reporting there. And from that tragedy in Philly, we turn to this one here in Washington. Just 48 hours earlier, crews are expected to begin that painstaking process of pulling the wreckage out of the water. And a big development here, the black box from the helicopter has been found intact, which will help investigators figure out what went wrong.
This morning, salvage teams on the Potomac River will begin the painstaking process of pulling the American Airlines plane out of the water. Sources tell ABC News many of the victims' bodies are said to be trapped inside.
We need to make every effort and to make sure we're recovering every one of the people that perished.
These images from a CCTV video obtained exclusively by CNN show one of the clearest views yet of that Black Hawk helicopter. Investigators recounting the final minutes before the American Airlines jet started its descent Wednesday night. At 8:43 p.m., the pilots told to land on a shorter runway. The Black Hawk helicopter now making its way up the Potomac River. At 8:45 p.m., air traffic control alerting the helicopter to that jet's approach. At 8:47 p.m., asking the Black Hawk pilots to confirm they see the jet.
This club has an aircraft inside pressure separation.
Seconds later, the collision.
3217.
And we are learning more about the 67 people killed. The Army now identifying 2 of the 3 soldiers in that Black Hawk. 28-year-old Staff Sergeant Ryan O'Hara from Georgia, a 10-year veteran who served in Afghanistan, and 39-year-old Chief Warrant Officer and pilot Andrew Eves from Maryland. In the plane, biology professor Lindsay Fields. She was heading to D.C. to advocate for science education. 33-year-old attorney Sarah Best. The day of her crash was her birthday. Also on board, ice skater Corey Hanos and his parents Stephanie and Roger. Their families saying Corey had his sights set on the Olympics.
And there are just so many questions, from one air traffic controller doing the job of 2 to whether there was any confusion inside that helicopter's cockpit. Remember, they told the controller that they saw that plane, but were they looking at the correct plane? That's why the black box from the helicopter is so important, because investigators will actually be able to hear that final conversation inside the cockpit right before the crash. The NTSB has the black boxes in its lab right now. Investigators are pulling that data as we speak, Janae.
All right, Gio, I'll take it from here. And just hearing the stories of those victims and the young kids with the big dreams, our hearts go out to all the families impacted by this. We do want to turn to our other top story this morning. Hamas releasing Israeli-American hostage Keith Siegel and 2 others early this morning. ABC's foreign correspondent Britt Clennett is following the developments from Tel Aviv. Britt, good morning.
Good morning. Just a little earlier, Keith Siegel landed at this hospital for treatment. He's expected to stay here for at least 4 days. Keith becoming the first American Israeli to be released in this ceasefire.
This morning, American-Israeli hostage Keith Siegel finally back on home soil after 15 months in captivity. 65-year-old Siegel, the first American to be freed in the breakthrough ceasefire and hostage deal. In the ruins of the port in Gaza City, Siegel seen on a stage flanked by masked and armed Hamas forces. Hamas staging an orderly handover after criticism of their handling of Thursday's hostage release. Supporters watching in Tel Aviv.
She is here as American-Israeli Keith Siegel is handed over to the Red Cross.
On October 7th, Keith Siegel was taken from his home alongside his wife Aviva. She was released during the week-long ceasefire in November of 2023. Finally, this morning, the end of a long and agonizing wait. Aviva and their son Shay watching from a TV at Riem base as Keith was handed over by Hamas. She told me last September how she's been dreaming of this moment.
And I just can imagine Keith coming out and me just screaming and jumping on him. And I'll be just the happiest person in the whole world. And Keith, from the minute he comes home, he's going to be the king. He's going to be the king of the world.
Now that day has finally come. Hamas also releasing 2 other hostages this morning, a separate event in the city of Han Yunis, bringing Ofer Calderon and Yarden Bibas to a stage before handing them over to the Red Cross. The 2 have now safely returned to Israel.
The Siegel family releasing a statement saying they are filled with indescribable excitement, thanking President Trump, saying our hope lies with you that the other hostages are also returned home soon. Guys.
All right, some good news this morning there. Britt Clennett, thank you so much. Coming up on GMA in our morning menu, we are kicking off our celebration of Black History Month with a ride through time alongside African-American cowboys.
Also ahead, life lessons from powerhouse entrepreneur Rebecca Minkoff.
And Tori Johnson is here. Hey, Tori.
Hey, Whit. So I've got sweet deals and steals to treat yourself. You and Janae are going to love it. We'll be right back.
And we're back now with our GMA cover story. It's National Youth Heart Screening Day, and we're looking at kids and heart health this morning with Dr. Edith Bracho Sanchez, pediatrician at New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia University. Doctor, good morning to you. It's great to have you back.
Great to see you.
So I'm a parent. I have 2 kids, and we were just talking before. Heart health is not always something that you're thinking about with all the other stuff that you're considering with your kids. So what should parents be looking at, and what do they need to know?
Whit, I have to tell you, anytime we think about any type of health, but definitely heart health, we're thinking about the long-term preserving health and promoting health. And we're also thinking about the short term. What are the things that we need to be aware of right now that might signal that there's a problem? So promoting health, we're talking about healthy nutrition, healthy sleep, avoiding stress, checking high blood pressure, making sure that blood pressure is under control, which you would think is an adult thing to happen, but can definitely happen in kids. And then short term, we're always looking out for symptoms that might tell us that we need to pay attention to the heart right now with.
And on that, it's like, look, as parents, you don't need another thing to worry about and have anxiety about. But if we're looking at symptoms, what are the specific things that we need to look at to indicate that there may be a real problem?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what we look for as pediatricians. And remember, we're always partners so that you don't have to be constantly thinking about this. We're looking for chest pain, chest discomfort, especially in the context of exercise. We're looking at shortness of breath. We're looking at fainting, history of fainting. And we're also looking at whether these things are out of what you would expect for age and overall health of the child that we're seeing in front of us. Of course, it's always so scary when you hear reports of the news of things like sudden cardiac arrest and things like that. But listen, these symptoms tell us that we need to be looking, we need to be thinking, and we're here as pediatricians to ask you about them.
And what are the screening options available? And at what point do you go get a screening for your child?
So every year we're supposed to be screening, or at least every 3 years per the latest recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics. And any screening begins with a really good history, not just for the child, but for the entire family of cardiac disease, especially before the age of 50. We're also looking at a good physical exam, of course, and we're looking at those symptoms that we were asking about and whether those symptoms are what's to be expected for age and overall health. And really important to know what's for every parent out there, that it's not just teens who play sports that need to be screened, is every child at least every 3 years.
Critical information. Truly appreciate it. Always good to see you back in the studio
Thank
here.
you.
Dr. Edith Bracho-Sanchez, we appreciate it. Janae, over to you.
All right, Whit. Well, today is the first day of Black History Month, and we're celebrating by taking a look at the Black American cowboys from the past to the present. Ike Ajati has more on their story. Good morning to you,
Hey,
Ike.
good morning, Janae. The town of Boley, Oklahoma was going through an economic downturn after years of young residents leaving for better opportunities. But one native took on the task to revive an over 100-year tradition with the hopes of keeping her community thriving. A new renaissance is emerging, a retelling of the history of the American cowboy to highlight Black Americans, often forgotten, now reimagined front and center in mainstream hits like Jordan Peele's movie Nope.
Since the moment pitchers could move. Yeah, skin in the game.
And Beyonce's Cowboy Carter.
This ain't Texas.
And it's not just pop culture. The city of Boley, Oklahoma is working to preserve their cowboy history by reviving an over 120-year-old tradition, the rodeo.
It's bringing more attention to the town and the town history, which by itself is pretty powerful and significant.
Founded in 1903, Boley is one of only 13 all-black towns in America still standing. For many years, the rodeo was a huge draw for early settlers looking for a place to lay their roots.
It was invitational. It was come by and see us, see if you like us. Come on and build your houses here.
Henrietta Hicks, a Boley native, says when jobs became scarce, younger residents left for other opportunities, and the rodeo suffered. Until rodeo promoter Karen Ekeben and world champion bull rider Daniel Tipton remade it for a new generation.
Expanding the arena, taking down the old bleachers, bringing in new stuff. I mean, everything that I asked for, it was done. You know, just to make a better venue.
I would say we had about 5,000 attendees. We had to turn some people away because it just got to be too much for us to handle.
And the legacy will continue.
We want to emphasize that even though this is Black history, that we welcome everybody. It's American history.
Now, the rodeo is scheduled to take place on May 24th. Tickets are now on sale. And Henrietta told me that it don't matter what you look like. Everyone is welcome to the Boley Rodeo. I'm going to grab my 10-gallon hat, and I'll see you out west.
Your 10-gallon hat, your big belt buckle, all of that.
There you go.
All right, Ike. Thank you so much.
It is time now for Deals and Steals. And this morning, products to treat yourself from small businesses. Tori Johnson's here. And oh, there's so much candy and treats.
Okay.
Let's do it. What do we got?
First time ever making their Deals debut, Savannah's Candy Kitchen. We've got all of these. These are truly handcrafted in small batches. That's their coconut cake, one of the things that they are most famous for. We've got their buttery pecan pies, truffles that are all handmade, and then all of their small batch candies. They've created all of these amazing sets to treat yourself or loved ones for Valentine's Day, now's your time to order. Everything is slashed in half. Give it a grade.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm keeping this with me.
Excellent. All right. You got it.
Okay, big boy.
Then we've got, so we're going from Savannah to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. These are Fontana candles. Everything is all natural here. Are you dropping a little bit?
All right, come on.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm obsessed.
Coconut shake.
Lemongrass. You go.
The lemongrass might be my favorite, but they've got all of like just really unique scents that they use essential oils, coconut oil, and beeswax. You got a really great burn, especially on these that have this like crackling wood wick inside the jar ones. These are all slashed in half. They start at $12.50.
I had to walk away.
Sorry.
I had to walk away.
All right, for this next one, tails. These are connection cards. So imagine if there's family, there's relationships. So if you were playing this in your relationship with Whit and you asked him that.
No, this is
No, go ahead. Just I know, but just ask him anyway.
What's your favorite thing about me?
No, three things. What are your three favorite things?
You have cake on your
My favorite thing about you is when you laugh, you spit on me. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so imagine how deep you can get in terms of knowing somebody. So we've got them for the whole family, for couples.
Yep.
We also have,
and coworkers.
Your coworkers. I also love like the life story and family history. Like I would do anything to have been able to ask my grandparents, like what was elementary school like for you? How did you spend time together when you were young with your family? Tell me about your pets as a kid. Like I don't know any of that from my grandparents. And so these are really about great connections. Good for colleagues, just fun for everyone, all 50% off.
I love it.
I love those too. Okay, Lip Smart. This is one of the easiest ways to treat your lips.
This is chapstick?
It can be used as chapstick, but it's not. It's a lip treatment.
Y'all do your thing.
We'll do our thing. It's a lip treatment. So dry, cracked, flaking, great for aging lips. But it's like a treatment because it adds nourishment immediately to your lips. So for both immediate and long-term, don't worry, that was unused. So you
No, I know. I don't want to mess up my lips. Okay. But I want to feel it. It's thick.
$16 and free shipping. This one really works. I love it.
Free shipping.
Yeah, free shipping.
Good.
Okay. This is Picture Keeper. And so it's this little device that allows you to plug straight into your iPhone, Android, Mac, PC.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've used a PC.
So
I was like,
let's give this a go.
Hold on a second. Let me tell you what it's about. We don't have time for you to be playing. If you need to have a backup because you're running out of space, you're changing phones, changing tablets, this is for you. It will back up all of your photos and videos. It starts at $40 and free shipping.
Okay.
Cool.
And then
Really big
finally,
cookies.
Taylor
Massive cookies.
Chips. This started as a date night challenge. Can we craft the greatest cookie
said Taylor
ever?
and Will Gans is here.
Will, exactly. If it involves Taylor, Will is in the house. Lava cake, chocolate chips, s'mores, berries, and cream. I mean, they are sensational. All handcrafted with all locally sourced ingredients. No seed oil, no artificial flavors, no dyes. All deliciousness. You get a dozen of these, all slash and half.
So good. Thank you so much, Tori. We've partnered with all these companies on these great deals. Scan
We'll be back.
For our website. We are back now with Win the Weekend, and one toddler who is winning the weekend and leaping into our hearts. 2-year-old Stella from New Jersey, baby. She decided she would do whatever it takes to get a grocery store balloon to take home with her. Check it out.
Oh!
She's trying
Oh,
to
so
jump.
close. Oh.
The slow motion too. Oh, she's almost there. Anyway, Stella's mom, Daniela, she posted that video on social media where Stella's fierce determination for a toy racked up over 7 million views.
Oh my gosh.
Even though Stella didn't get the balloon, her mom told us that Stella did get to take home a purple dragon stuffed animal. Even picked out a toy penguin to bring home for her older sister.
Sounds like a win to me.
I feel like somebody should have gotten the balloon.
She'll
for
get
the
a couple inches eventually, right?
Get her a balloon. Now to some of the top headlines that we're following right now. President Trump is gearing up to impose steep tariffs today on America's biggest trading partners, a move that could raise prices at the grocery store and the gas pump. President hitting Canada and Mexico with 25% tariffs and 10% tariffs on China, blaming those countries for illegal migrants and drugs coming into the U.S. For America's trade deficit with the trading partners, experts say that American families could end up paying more because of the tariffs. It remains to be seen. Some of the details are still to come.
And more than 3 years after the devastating Eaton and Palisades fires broke out in Southern California, state officials say both fires have been fully contained. The fires killed at least 29 people and displaced thousands more. The Palisades fire destroyed more than 6,800 structures, while the Eaton fire burns down more than 9,400.
And actress Lily Collins has a new project in the works, Motherhood. The Emily in Paris star shared on Instagram that she and husband film director Charlie McDowell just welcomed their baby girl. Collins thanking her incredible surrogate and everyone who helped out. Janae?
All right. Well, now to industry leader, fashion designer, and friend of the Real Housewives of New York, Miss Rebecca Minkoff. We are so excited to have you here. She's celebrating 20 years as a brand this year and joins us this morning with what she's learned and how it could help you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's start off by talking about your new book, Fearless. Tell us, what are some of the secrets to your success that you are excited about sharing?
I think what I'm excited about sharing is everyone approaches their career with, I'm going to be an overnight success. I'm here to tell you 20 years later, nothing happens overnight, and we have to reset our expectations that you're in this for the long haul. If you love what you do, you need to give it the long view, and you can get your Amazon, you can get your Uber instantly, but not your career.
Oh, that's good. You get your Amazon and Uber instantly. When you started out, though, 20 years ago, could you have imagined where you would be 20 years later? The goal that you had for yourself, was it a straight line, a straight shot?
Never a straight line. It was my dream to be here today, but I, had so many bumps along the way, as does every founder and entrepreneur, that you go, okay, this is it for me. But luckily, I'm still here.
So what's an important piece of advice that you would give an aspiring fashion entrepreneur?
I would say that you have to love what you do. It is not about fame. It is not about money. It is about focus and just like you're consumed with how much you love your career. Yeah. Because it's hard.
So you have to have that passion.
You have to have that passion.
Okay, so let's talk about Real Housewives.
Yes.
So Whit likes to call me out because I used to be a Real Housewives junkie. Now I've got kids and I can't dish as much as I would like to. But the finale this year was, in true franchise fashion, contentious and confrontational.
Yes.
How'd you feel about it?
I was really sad. I was really sad for what happened. I mean, it was dark, it was heavy, and I was trying to be there for Uba and comfort her and bring her back down to a place where she was calm. And it was hard. It was really hard.
What made you want to be involved with Real Housewives?
I think that I liked the idea that it was, 7 women of diverse backgrounds and careers, all self-made. And I thought that that was an incredible way to share my story.
Yeah.
And give a little glimpse into the life of me as a New York City entrepreneur.
Well, it's so fun. I love it. I love everything about it. So since it's Grammys weekend, we wanted to lean into your fashion expertise. So we're going to head over to Mr. Will Gans. We're going to strut our stuff over here a little bit. Yep, Will Gans is waiting. We're going to play a quick game. Break it down for us.
All right, we're calling this in or out. So
here, I'll stand on this side.
Okie doke. I'm going to give you stay over here. I'm going to give you guys the paddles. In or out. We're talking about the looks, not the artist, for the record. Okay, everybody?
Okay.
So let's start with Taylor Swift. This is her Grammys look from last year. So, all white outfits, are they in or are they out on the red carpet this season?
I'm going to go out.
I'm going to say in. I think she gives us Hollywood glamour. I would maybe remove the necklace, but I think she looks beautiful.
Okay, all right. I'm a little bored by the all-white ensembles.
Me too. That's the only thing. I just want some more color, but I hear you.
All right, let's move on over to Miss Janelle Monáe. Okay, she is giving sequins. So sequins on the carpet, are they in or are they out?
They're in for me.
So in.
Can we remove this, though? I don't need that.
Okay, it's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Is this really her size?
I hope not. No, I've met her. She's not that big. She's teeny, but she's not that big.
I was hoping that these were to scale because if Taylor and I are the same height, then I'm in good company. However, I don't think that's true. All right, Dua Lipa, or as Wendy Williams would say, Dula Peep. Okay, so
in.
All right.
Because she's always looking, sometimes can look campy, and this is gorgeous and sophisticated, and I like a pared down Dua Lipa.
Yeah,
I like it.
Amazing. Okay, let's move on
I thought this was a real person in the studio before I smiled at her.
You said, hey, Lana Del Rey.
Why didn't she smile back at you?
Okay, so a statement shoulder. What do we think of Lana Del Rey?
Wait, hold on. Because if we're going for the statement shoulder, you better say it. You better say it.
It's fine. But okay.
If we're talking about Lana.
But if we're talking about this look for Lana.
Camp. Again, let's just look beautiful. She looks like Wednesday Addams a little bit.
It does look like
and I love Lana Del Rey, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Wednesday, it's not good for Grammys.
We're just talking about the fashion.
Yep,
just the fashion. All right, last but not least, we've got Josh Groban over here, and I do want to talk about men's fashion. Brooches have been very in. So if we're talking about this brooch moment, what do you think?
Really? Unless it's the Cartier nail head, which is so chic. I am not for brooch, but it's hard. Look,
She said, unless it's Cartier, honey.
Okay, some of us don't have Cartier money, Rebecca Minkoff.
There's some dupes available, you know.
All right.
We know dupes
So
are in.
how would a man elevate his look on the carpet this season if not a brooch? What would you suggest?
You know, my good friend Deloria is a men's stylist, so I tend to get some tips from her. But like a little shiny lapel, some great watches, you know, I think are big for the carpets, and like a shiny shoe. It's always like subtle. They don't have a lot to work with, so it sucks.
Yeah, I do. You know the other accessory I love that men are doing right now? Sorry, I'll stop in a second. Showing a lot of cleavage or heavage. Yes.
I think as long as you have no chest hair. Do not show.
Did you hear that? Is that controversial?
I gotta go make a waxing appointment.
Whit Johnson's gonna be on the red carpet for the Oscars, so I hope he's listening about cleavage.
I hope you get a wax and get the Cartier, okay?
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much, Rebecca Minkoff. The re-release of Rebecca's book, Fearless, is out Tuesday. And coming up, there are less than 2 weeks until the release of Captain America Brave New World and Anthony Mackie's big screen debut as the shielded superhero. We have the latest up next.
Back now, and the countdown is on for the next installment in the Captain America franchise. We've got less than 2 weeks to go, folks, until Anthony Mackie takes up the shield, and Marvel fans are buzzing with anticipation. We got sound effects and everything. Wasn't expecting that. Will Gans is in the house. You got sound effects too for us? Oh, you got
no,
props.
I have props,
Okay.
which, no offense, is a little better if you ask me. All right, it's serious, though, when the popcorn buckets are looking like this. Cinemark theaters have this limited edition popcorn bucket with wings.
Wow.
With a shield. I'm holding this for Anthony Mackie.
A drink?
Yeah, and this is where your drink goes, right here. The Starbucks barista was so impressed with this popcorn bucket this morning. I know, I got the first look. All right, and if you think this is heroic, check this out. From the trailer.
Oh, what a tease!
To the lore.
I don't see how people are not excited for a Captain America that can fly. Not just fly, ladies and gentlemen, go super sonic.
Hype is at an all-time high for the latest entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that my excitement level for Brave New World is through the roof.
Hashtag Captain America has spawned 1.7 million unique posts on TikTok alone.
All right, it's time to realize that this is the coolest Captain America we've ever seen. And let me add brave.
He is perfect to be today's Captain America.
With only one Marvel movie hitting theaters last year, superfans like Nicki Marina and her 1.8 million TikTok followers can't wait to see what Marvel has in store for Brave New World.
We just finished the Infinity Saga, now we're in the Multiverse Saga. And the Multiverse Saga means they can pull from anywhere. And there's just such a huge catalog of interesting characters.
One of those characters, Harrison Ford's President Thaddeus Ross.
He was such a menace just delivering certain lines. Imagine when we actually see him turn into Red Hulk.
But it's Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson that fans hope will take Captain America to new heights.
I went to the Air Force Academy like Captain Marvel, Black Southern Air Force vet like Sam. And Captain America has always inspired me in and out of uniform. It's been such a long emotional journey, as a fan, as a Black person, as a veteran, to see this character and this actor go through all of this. It's going to be anxious, but it's also just so good to see hard work and excellence pay off in somebody that looks like you, that looks like a member of your community.
Captain America Brave New World soars into theaters on Valentine's Day. And Nikki tells me, by the way, if you want to be fully informed walking into the theaters, you should at the very least watch the last 5 minutes of Avengers Endgame and the Disney Plus series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's officially popcorn season, people.
Oh my God. But that's good information to head to the theater.
Yeah, because otherwise...
That's why Anthony Mackie is doing it, not me.
That's right. Yeah, don't
so
do
sorry.
that in the theater, right? That's not what people want to hear. Will Gans, as always, thank you so much. Enjoy the popcorn. Captain America, A Brave New World, flies into theaters on February 14th. And then next week, the entire cast, including Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie, will be here on GMA talking about it.
I'll leave my shield at home for that.
Yeah. Please do. Please do. We've had enough of you, Will Gans. We're really excited about this interview in this segment. Mason Gooding, known by many for his starring roles in the Scream movies, now he's taking another horror film with a bit of a rom-com edge here. It's Heart Eyes. We've got a clip. Let's take a look.
Come on. Come on. You got it?
Yes.
Oh, good job.
Thanks.
Hey, you good?
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
We were bracing for the jump
coming.
scare.
Yeah.
How is it going to happen?
You didn't even move.
Yeah.
No.
Mason, welcome. On that note, by the way, you're always getting chased by the bad guy these days.
I know, look at that. I have a propensity for getting away from things I'm not a fan of, so it's fine.
So I love this because you were telling us how this is a little bit different. How would you describe this film compared to some of the others you've done?
See, I always like to think of it. Y'all are so beautiful.
Oh, come on.
This
I mean,
is
look.
genuinely. No,
Right.
I told you we were doing
just
something.
trading
Carved out a
compliments.
marvelous man.
I do call it a rom-com that gets hijacked by a horror film. I like that the two genres tend to blend a little easier in this case because of the focus we put on character and how the horrific circumstances from like an external factor, in this case a mask-wielding maniac.
With a big knife.
Yeah.
With a few knives.
Okay,
and,
all right.
Crossbows. You'll see. Allows them to sort of either get closer, reconcile their differences in order to survive the night. So
Wow.
Love it.
So today's the first day of Black History Month, and you wrote a really beautiful essay for Variety about watching Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther. I remember my experience watching him in Black Panther, but tell us about your experience sitting in the theater and why it meant so much to you.
See, Chadwick Boseman, for so many reasons, was prolific in the understanding of his role as a performer in the zeitgeist and how his effect kind of had influence over the understanding of self-awareness that young Black boys and girls had, even in watching him in 42 or Black Panther, the latter which of me was such a surreal experience in seeing not only on a screen how beautiful people that either looked like me or shared a similar experience to me could be showcased in, world-renowned media, but also off camera, the work that Chadwick Boseman did to embody that iconography in communities and do the work to be seen and upheld as margin of success and professionalism and genuine human nature was really compelling to me. And I think that's the goal of any artist, but certainly one of mine. So it was a beautiful experience, one I will carry with me for the rest of my career and ideally the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, those feelings you describe, others share it, but the way you put it, the way you explain those feelings too, I know resonates with so many. Let's talk about the movies because Scream 7 is in production, right?
Sure is.
And here you are, part of this iconic franchise that has a huge fan base. What's it been like for you to kind of jump into this and take it on?
Well, the nice thing is I don't have to do it alone, and the idea of having so many members from the original Scream film alongside me means that it really feels like coming home in a lot of ways. Neve Campbell is reprising her role as the godmother of the horror slasher genre, Sidney Prescott. Our final girl, and Kevin Williamson, who penned the first one, is directing. And that helps because any question you might have about character or circumstance, he's not only got in spades, but you get the context from the older films, and it really just breeds a level of comfortability and ease that makes the more complicated and brutal sequences a lot easier to both understand and, get through.
Yeah. Well, you are so lucky that we are out of time and can't ask you about getting kicked out of a club.
We had all these things.
You are so lucky.
No, that was of course.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna find out as soon as we go to this commercial break. Hard Eyes will be in theater on Friday.
And thank you so much for joining us here on GMA. I'll have much more from Washington here later this morning on ABC News Live. Guys.
All right, Gio, thank you so much. Remember, the news does continue 24/7 on our streaming channel, ABC News Live, Weekend Edition. Gio, just once again, incredible reporting from Washington. So many sad details, but thank you for bringing that to us. We'll have much more tomorrow right here on GMA as well.
We'll see you then.